Welcome to Far Louder, your official association podcast. Hey FAR members, it's Mackenzie, and today I want to talk to you about how you can optimize your website so that you start getting more leads from it. One of the great tools we've seen come out in the past few years are things like Playster. Realtor.com has created a place for you to build your profile. You can use Squarespace, but a lot of people have gone with the more customizable options of using things like WordPress to create their websites, because that gives them more control over the content and where they're going to show up. And some of the major contributing factors of that are the content that goes on the website. So I really want to talk to you about how to get the right content on your website to get more leads. And to understand that, we need to talk about search engine optimization, more casually known as SEO. SEO is what happens when you go and you type your article, and they suggest that articles on your website be between 300 and 500 words long, which is about the size of an essay that you would have written in high school. And the purpose for this is because it's not too long, but it's not too short to keep your reader's attention. On top of this, they also suggest that you use key phrases a certain amount of times in your articles, depending on the length of your sentences, the number of paragraphs. It sounds really complicated and really overwhelming, right? Well, there are a lot of great resources to find out if the articles on your website are actually going to be optimized for the internet so that they come up higher in search results. The number one thing that you're going to want to look at is Yoast, which is an SEO optimizer that can be plugged into WordPress. If you have a WordPress website, this is my number one suggestion. It is free to use up to a point. There are some higher end features that aren't as commonly used if you really want to look into those. But this is my number one suggestion. If you want to get your website higher up, you're going to want to start optimizing your website. If you're not using a website like WordPress where you can use this plugin, check out some of these tips. Have a blog. And again, that 300 to 500 word count is very important. Try to use a key phrase 2 or 3 times throughout your article, something like best homes in the area, and name your area. The more you put these things into your article, if somebody is searching for those specific things, they will come up higher in search results. You're also going to want to link to other websites' content. Maybe if you're talking about Lake Anna, you want to link to the Lake Anna website because it gives your website credibility in a search engine's processing. So those are a couple of tips on how to create content. You're also going to want to add an image, and here's why. It's twofold. The image comes in and creates something more eye-catching for people to relate to as they're going through your website. But also, if you have something where you can share your content, it'll usually pull that graphic at the top of the page that's associated with the article. So instead of having to create separate social media content, you're pushing everybody back to your website whenever you share information. This is great because it keeps everything centralized. When you're looking at content to share, talk about your local area. There are a lot of different services that each area has, something about schools, something about trails. Just really dig into those things that if you were moving someplace, what would you want to know? And then you also want to talk about local businesses because people want to see local business supporting local business. And that's where those photos come in again. If you put a photo in your article about you going to this great downtown shop and you share that article to your Facebook page, and you've got that photo being shared again and again and again, it's just getting that mileage out there. You're also going to want to talk about your day-to-day life. Not everybody needs to know the nitty-gritty details of what you had for breakfast, but if you really like to run in a certain trail, share that trail with people. If you really like to go and make this recipe, but you need to have this ingredient from that particular store, share that. Share your life to the point where you're sharing your lifestyle, because you know that other people are going to want to enjoy that same lifestyle that you have the privilege of enjoying. Because at the end of the day, we all know that real estate comes down to selling a lifestyle. So if you want to connect with people, share who you are. They're going to want to connect with you. I think a lot of people get stuck on this writing content for their website or managing their social media. And they're like, I just don't have the time. You know, your clients are going to come from this. They're going to find you on the websites. Maybe it might not be the first time they see your name, but if your name pops up on someplace like Zillow or Realtor.com, they are Googling you to find out more about who you are. It's very interesting to see the statistics, especially because a lot of people think that the most important thing on their website is that MLS feed. And while that's a great feature to have, it's not what drives people to come to your websites anymore, because they're going to Zillow and they're going to Realtor.com. So if you want to hear more about the exact statistics, we actually have a great episode on our YouTube page that was taught by Matthew Rathbun about how you can get your bio to be more professional looking and why it really matters to have that content on your website. I highly suggest you check it out. You really can't afford not to put content on your website. It is a driving force, especially for new agents. So if you want those leads, if you want to get started, make sure you're developing content for your website. And as always, FAR is here to help and support you. We have great tools on our website. I highly suggest you check them out, farmembers.com/tools, and check out all the great content we have there for you. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Far Louder. Find more resources at farmembers.com.